And welcome into the Rob and Kale Show. I'm Rob Sanders. Thanks for joining us this evening. As Jackpot and we've got to talk about getting back to the StreamYard thing because this thing's about to piss me off. Anyway, hell of a way to start here. Welcome into the program, Jackpot. How are you this evening, sir?
I'm excited to be here. Glad to be here. It's a great day to be a Gamecock. Feels like a new season of college basketball. Team is 1-0 on the SEC season as far as I'm concerned. Baseball team just comes off another 3-game sweep, undefeated on the year. It's a great day to be a Gamecock, as if it's not always a great day to be a Gamecock.
We can mock and talk about how South Carolina's 1-13 in conference play, but what you said makes a lot of sense. If we just thought about it, they got the first win at the beginning of the season. Yeah, you're 1-0. It's kind of the one way to look at it. I don't think you win another conference game this year, but hey, you got one.
I disagree.
You're not going to pull a Tennessee in football a couple years ago and go completely winless in conference play.
I disagree the way they handled Texas last night. Georgia's coming to town next weekend, I think. Texas is better than Georgia. So should handle them.
We'll see. It's one of those things. Clemson, no problem with SMU as they go in and handle them.
Yeah.
Winning about 10 yesterday. So
I don't know. I got so pissed off I turned it off.
Did you? Did you have money on SMU?
No, I didn't. No. And the thing about them was I figured that something like that was gonna play out. Their record was inflated. Their record against ranked teams of late is just atrocious, like 1-13 or something like that. It's terrible. So
anyway,
fuck Smoo.
That's funny. Well, you mentioned the Gamecock baseball team. I think they got the sweep, right? Over in Milwaukee.
Yeah, the Brewers. Yeah. The Panthers, I think it was. Not the Brewers.
I don't know. I don't know what team it was, to be honest with you. So Clemson wins the Clemson Invitational. As they went over Virginia Commonwealth on Friday, North Carolina A&T on Saturday, and then they beat Virginia Commonwealth again, and then they beat North Carolina A&T again. So they go 4-0 in the Clemson Invitational. They will play Winthrop on Tuesday before welcoming in the Yardcocks on the weekend. So
I didn't know this until I was just looking at some stuff yesterday. I didn't realize that Furman didn't have a baseball team anymore and hasn't for like 4 years.
Oh yeah, COVID killed that team. Killed a lot of baseball teams. The teams that the size of Furman, they just dropped their programs altogether. In fact, Clemson took on like 3 of their players to give them a place to finish out their careers. So
Clemson's always taking care of people in that way.
Well, South Carolina had a guy too. I mean, I couldn't remember if South Carolina had a Furman transfer too, was in the bullpen, if I remember correctly.
Well, I read up on it. I did. I read up the story on it because I was interested in it. And I didn't have anything else to do last night. And it said they were exploring getting rid of the program even before the virus. So
yeah,
that's rough.
Peckerhead says the tickets to the Gamecocks versus Clemson baseball game in Greenville are literally $140, the cheapest to get in the door.
That's fuckery. That's ridiculous level. I mean,
Jackpot. I have to put this out there. Your baseball team has a much more story history than your football team could ever fathom on any planet. And you would pay $120 to go watch them play some shithole team, but you won't go watch the baseball team drop
Alabama is some shithole team.
whatever. Some team you get your ass kicked by. You
We
have a
lost
chance
by 2 points.
Still got your ass kicked.
No,
Just saying.
that's not an ass kicking.
Historically,
your
you
definition of ass kicking needs some retooling.
Fine, you still lost. Historically, you lose those games, but you wouldn't pay $140 to go and watch a team that's viable and actually might have a shot against a ranked opponent.
It's fucking baseball. I mean, how many damn home games do you play in a year, though, that you can go see?
I was just trying to get you to throw something at me, but anyway.
No, I'm not doing that. I've settled down a little bit here the past year or so. I'm not anything like I do throw things. I do throw things. Remember that little cosmetic? There were 2 of them, 2 little cosmetics mirrors that I had bought from Dollar General to kind of put behind, which is good. You don't always have to have the best little lighting setup or what, just whatever. You can go grab cheap shit that works just as well, but anyway, those don't exist any longer, thanks to the first half of the Carolina Clemson football contest this past season. I smashed both of them.
You broke a remote too, didn't you, during the Illinois game?
Maybe. I may have, but I know I remember smashing those mirrors because I had to get the damn broom and dustpan out real quick because the dogs wanted to play with the fucking glass everywhere. Duh. My dumb ass should have known better than to do that.
And see, you would have felt terrible if Wheezy would have been walking around and gotten some glass in her foot because you were an asshole and broke a mirror. You'd have felt terrible.
I would have felt like shit. That's why I remedied the situation as quick as possible.
All right. Well, there's that. We're going to break out into calls in just a moment. But I want to do, I sent you some stuff about, we're calling the show, Would You Rather? Would you rather have this? Would you rather have that? So I sent you a couple of them, but I thought we'd throw some of them out there. This is for the upcoming season. And it's just a simple question. You can play along over there in the chat to get Jackpot's response out of it. Going into the season, would you rather have DJ Lagway or Lenoris Sellers as your quarterback heading into this season?
I'd rather have Lenoris because he's more of a proven commodity. DJ Lagway was injured last year at the midway point of the season. So, I mean, he still has an injured history. Plus, he threw 12 touchdowns and 12 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
well, I think that's fair too.
Now he might be, I don't think that he's going to be able to do the damage with his legs that Lenoris is going to be able to do. I don't know that he can take command of a game the way that Lenoris can. Maybe he can, maybe he can't. I think the players around Lagway tend to play a little bit better when he's in there. Obviously, despite all the interceptions, I think his ceiling in the throw game is probably higher than what Lenoris Sellers is. But at this point, I would take Lenoris.
I think that my dog's being stupid this evening. I think that I would go with Sellers in that front too, simply because, as you said, we haven't seen enough of Lagway. Florida fans are in love with him, but I don't know.
Yeah, what is the whole the whole narrative that we would have won that Georgia game if he hadn't got hurt?
Yeah,
I mean, I think he completed 2 passes to that point. I mean, come on now. Yeah.
All right, now same question, but would you rather have Sellers or Nico from Tennessee?
Sellers. Again, I mean, he overachieved last season. I think Nico underachieved relative to the expectations that were put on him,
Yeah.
and based on his high school, um, just based on his talent level, his track record coming out of high school. I mean, I think the high expectations were warranted, especially with some of the weapons he supposedly had around him, but those weapons didn't really perform other than a running back. He didn't really perform either up to the level I think he was capable of. I think he was probably playing, I don't know, I think he was probably playing behind a better offensive line than Sellers was too. So, yeah, I think he probably has a higher ceiling, but we haven't seen him attempt to reach that ceiling yet. So,
All right, let's go to a couple of ACC quarterbacks. Would you rather have Cade Klubnik, or would you rather have head down to Miami and have the former Georgia quarterback, Carson Beck?
man,
It's almost a
I would.
draw.
Well, I would probably take Klubnik because he seems to just. I mean, he seems to be. I don't know. He seems to make a little bit better decisions, especially last year. Just with last year's body work, he seems to make better decisions with the football than what Carson Beck has been making. Carson Beck was pretty disappointing. Klubnik was not disappointing. He actually, I think, I wouldn't say overachieved. I just think he kind of lived up to what some of his potential would be last season. Now, in terms of overall arm talent, arm strength, NFL talent, I mean, I think Carson Beck probably has a higher ceiling in that regard, but I mean, he's yet to show it. I mean, I think Klubnik is more mentally stable too. To be quite honest with you.
I think I'm in the camp that Beck has seemed to get worse as he's gone on, and
Yeah.
I think that in my opinion, I want to see what he does at Miami, because I think he was sheltered at Georgia by the offensive line that they had, where all five of those guys are going to get drafted. He doesn't have that kind of talent on the line at Miami, in my opinion. So I would go with I'd go with Klubnik over him. Just throw
Yeah.
another. Who would you rather go with? All right, now this one's going to be interesting here, Jackpot. Let's do some coaching stuff here. Would you rather go with Brian Kelly or Lane Kiffin as your head coach if you had the choice of the two?
Mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Damn.
Now you got Jackpot. You got to put aside your hatred for Kiffin, because
I don't like either one of them really.
all right, you got to put that aside a little bit. Do you want this guy running your program?
I think that, are we talking about with the rosters they have? I think Lane Kiffin would do more with the LSU roster than what Brian Kelly has done with it.
Yeah.
Right, and I just think that we're in a world where offense is what's going to win games right now, and I think Kiffin's a better offensive mind. I think at a program with a bigger budget, more NIL money coming in, more booster money coming in, I think he would have the same kind of success he's had at Ole Miss. Plus, be able to get better players. Probably, I think it's just his gift. The bullshit that drips off his lips kind of resonates with kids today, unfortunately. So I'd probably go with him. Probably go with him.
So on my front, I would go with Kiffin, because I just don't like the vibe that Kelly puts out there. And I know that Kelly's got a better resume, But there's some asshole things that Kiffin has done, but in the end, for some reason, as you said, young people relate to him, and he's not scared to go out and do something that may seem off the wall and silly to make his program better. So for me,
He has a better resume than does he really
I think
though?
Kelly's got a better. I mean, Kelly's played.
He hasn't won anything. He hasn't won anything.
I think Kelly's been to the
I
playoff.
mean, he,
That's one thing.
yeah, he's gotten his butt whooped.
He's
He did go to a national championship game though. He got his butt whooped there too.
well, I mean, hardware matters.
I mean, he got there though. I mean, he did get there.
Yeah. All right. Well, there we go with that one. And then the next set of coaching things here, and once again, jackpot, you got to take off your your Gamecock goggles here. Would you rather go with the dork, Eli Drinkowitz, or the crying man, Shane Beamer, as your head coach? Because I can give you, Drinkowitz has done more with less talent. That's not even up for discussion.
Has he though? I mean,
according to the recruiting rankings,
what are his recruiting classes? I mean,
they finish in the top 30 sometimes, but he has done more with less talent.
He finished in the top 30 sometimes. I think they beat out South Carolina in recruiting last year.
I'll look it up right now. I'll look it up.
Well, and then that was last year. I'm talking about 24 class. But they took that, they picked up that Williams Raw Weenie guy, and he was a large part of that. And he's not there anymore. Mm-hmm. So I mean, here's my thing. Raw Weenie, this other kid that came to South Carolina, they seem to have a little bit more portal attrition than what the Gamecocks are having right now. So that's not really a great thing. Roster continuity is big. Now, your team starts struggling on a certain side of the ball during the season. Mm-hmm. So your offense starts struggling. Well, at least, Eli Drinkowitz, that's at least his specialty. And he's an offensive-minded head coach, so he could probably assist with getting that thing out of the ditch. I don't know that Shane Beamer he doesn't have a side of the ball that he's has more expertise in because he's been all over the damn place.
Yeah.
So, just as far as in terms of overall program building and that, though, I like Shane a little bit more, but it's a tough question. It's close, as Matthew says there. I think a lot of people don't like either one of them. It's just that I don't know I think the overall passion that I see there, the passion, the love for the players, is just what puts me over the top with Shane Beamer. Oh, I see that from the dork. I mean, I think the dork is kind of more just self-centered, maybe just a little bit.
Yeah.
Than Beamer. So,
well, what you said is fair. I mean, it is a 50-50 shot there, but I enjoy the coach that's going to piss people off, so I would go with the dork. Just saying. He
Fireball says Beamer is a roller coaster coach, 5 to 9 and then 6. I get that, but he's not really a roller coaster coach when you take into account that he's exceeded Vegas win totals 3 out of 4 years. That's not a roller coaster.
They set your win total at 4. It's really not. Yeah. Maybe that's more of an indictment on Vegas than him. But Peg and Megan says that's a tallest midget contest. Thank you, sir. All right, a couple more of these would you rather before we look at some win totals.
Hey, Kirby Smart's kind of a midget there too, fucker.
Yeah, well, he's got that little visor of his too.
It's the hair, dude. It's the hair. It makes him 10 feet tall.
He looks like like a Dr. Seuss character with his hair coming out of that visor. If you look at it. All right, one more coaching thing here, Jackpot. Would you rather have Josh Heupel or Shane Beamer? Because I could give you their records are somewhat close. Tennessee's had better recruiting.
Well, they've got more NIL money.
Well, let me go first while you think about it. I would personally go with. I don't like either one of them, but I think in the longer stretch, I'd probably rather have Beamer, simply because if you look at Heupel, everywhere he's went, it seemed like his offense has gone down a little.
Well, he's kind of like Carolina Jackpot, and he's overweight. He's kind of like us. So who knows if he'll be here tomorrow? You know what I'm saying?
Right. So I mean, in my opinion,
it's a fair statement.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Beamer's nice and trim. He's a lift. So he looks like he runs every day, even though I don't know if he does or not. So he's more likely to be around for the long haul with your team. You don't want to be burying one and then have to go find yourself a new coach. You might end up with a Sparky Woods, and nobody wants that.
Sparky Woods. All right,
I mean, if I wanted to jumpstart my team offensively, I'd probably go with Heupel. But once again, if I wanted continuity and to build things from the ground up and see some overachieving there, I'd probably go with Beamer. I don't know. Heupel, they made the playoffs. I think that was expected. They didn't this past season. They really didn't. I don't know. They didn't impress me, though. It was the least impressive 10-2 team out there. And I'm not to say that they're not Tennessee because I don't like them. That's been well documented. It was just ugly football to watch.
Right.
So,
well, there you go. Those are the. I figured we'd do some of those as we come along, but we go through the off season here. But I thought those would be kind of cool. We got some over and under totals from FanDuel that
Thomas says it doesn't look like Beamer eats Little Debbie cake. He doesn't eat enough Little Debbie cakes.
Yeah,
I agree.
Big Barney Ross says Josh has a scheduled chin tuck this offseason. Very good, sir.
A chin tuck?
Chin tuck. He's going to get rid of one of the chins. Allegedly.
That's got to be interesting. That's got to be interesting to go forward a request from the plastic surgeon. Hey, I'd like to get me one. Do you have a special on chin tucks? Are those inflation proof?
Get like 2 chin tucks for the price of 1 in April. It's on special. All right, let's look at some of these over-unders for the upcoming season. We'll start with Alabama.
Half-ass Rock says USC is garbage. I agree. Them Trojans ain't worth a born damn.
Holy crap. All right, look. Here is the over-under for Alabama. They've got them at 8.5 wins, jackpot. Your thoughts on that? 8.5 wins for Alabama.
I think it's. Based on how's the quarterback play going to be this year. I don't. Yeah, I think it may be too high. I think we're seeing that team kind of rescind a little bit. I really think we are. I don't think last year was a fluke. Are they gonna struggle with Florida State in the opener?
Is that who they got in the opener? Is Florida State?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Let's look at the rest of their schedule really quick.
Yeah, they do Tennessee at home. I think they have LSU at home.
Yes, they start with Florida State. They've also got Wisconsin. They're playing at.
Do they come to to Bryant Denny?
Yep. Then they've got.
And those should both be easy wins. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's all right. They got Louisiana.
Then they go to Mizzou.
They play at Mizzou. Home game with Tennessee. They come to South Carolina. home game with LSU, home game with Oklahoma, home game with Eastern Illinois. Watch out for that. And then a road game at Auburn.
Should have a home game with Vandy.
They do. Then they go to Georgia as well.
They're playing Vandy at home. They're in for a paddling. I think it's an 8-win team. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do quarterback wise. The Williams kid at wide receiver is really good. But other than that, I don't.
Kind of weird that they don't have.
I could be wrong. I mean, they could win 11 games and make the playoffs. Who knows with that? But they're still really talented. Right, Diggy, they talented.
Like, it's kind of weird they don't have Arkansas on their schedule. By the way, Arkansas is the next team on the list.
There's no SEC West no more, so.
I understand that, but I'm just saying that it's just weird that to let Texas and Oklahoma come into the conference.
Weird that the Gamecocks don't have the Fighting Octavians on the schedule anymore, but here we are.
Next one is Arkansas. The Razorbacks, they project them at 5.5 wins. Here's their schedule, Jackpot. Home game with Alabama A&M. I got nothing for you. Arkansas State. Then they go to Ole Miss and to Memphis, followed by Notre Dame at home.
Ooh, that's powerful.
And then at Tennessee, they've got Texas A&M, Auburn, Mississippi State, at LSU, at Texas, and then a home game with Missouri. Now, remember, Arkansas.
I'd say under. That's a lot of tough road games there.
Well, they went 7-6 last year, Jackpot. So
yeah, they won 6 regular season games in there, and it was 5 this year, 5.5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they go under. I mean, I think they're at Tennessee. I mean, I think they'll be looking for some revenge on them there, and they got some other tough road games too at LSU, at Texas. Yeah. I think they missed out on their chance for like a 8-9 win season.
All right, the next one is Auburn. Auburn, Jackpot. You want to take a guess at what they have, Auburn? If you had to guess right now, where would you think Auburn would be?
7.5.
7.5. Ding, ding, ding. Jackpot for the win.
I knew it would be too high, whatever it was. They always are.
Quick look at their schedule. They've got them at Baylor, Ball State, South Alabama. Then they have at Oklahoma, at A&M, home game with Georgia, home game with Mizzou, at Arkansas, home game with Kentucky, at Vandy, home game with Mercer, home game with Alabama. 7.5 for Auburn. That's a tough one there, man.
I think they go just under that. I mean, I don't understand why everybody's so high on that. What are they high on? I mean, Auburn. G-Man says Auburn's going to be solid. I mean, based on what? I mean, they've underachieved. This Hugh Freeze. This guy has gotten more mileage over those 2 wins over Nick Saban than, I can't. I don't know what. I mean, it's really crazy. I mean, other than that, I mean, what the fuck has he done? Really?
Does he get fired if they miss a bowl? That's a good question, Jackpot.
Probably. I mean, they've shown that they're not shy to pull the trigger there on the coaches. I mean, Brian Harsin, 2 years gone. And then Gus Malzahn, the guy that they never should have fired in the first place, gone. I mean, after he had the one losing season, I think, during COVID, and they bounced him out.
Yeah, that's true. So. I think it's going to be under. The next one here, Jackpot, 4.5 wins for your Kentucky Wildcats.
Man, I don't know about them. Could you rattle off their schedule real quick? I'm sure it's going to be littered with Akron and Northern Illinois.
They got Toledo, Ole Miss, Eastern Michigan. Hold on. Let me go grab my dogs. Hold on. I'll be right back.
While he's gone, what else is everybody up to? Don't get your hopes up on Jackson Arnold, says Matthew. Yeah, I mean, he didn't look good last year at Oklahoma. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, can Hugh Freeze sprinkle some kind of magic dust on him and then turn him into a decent quarterback? I think they did go out and get some decent receiver talent for him to work with. Hoghead says UK will win 8. Are you willing to put money on that?
They're going to win 8 games with this schedule. Toledo.
You probably are. You're made out of money. Just kidding.
Toledo, Ole Miss, Eastern Michigan, at South Carolina.
Well, Toledo, at least they scheduled the best of the MAC.
Texas.
The cream of the MAC.
Tennessee, at Auburn, home for Florida. Tennessee Tech, at Vandy, at Louisville. 4.5 wins.
They ever going to schedule an out-of-conference game that's worth a fuck? Really? That pisses me off.
I think
everybody else knows it. What? I mean, what the hell?
We joke about it, but as
a Kentucky fan, if you were a Kentucky fan, that would piss me off. I mean, it really would. I mean, especially if you don't have a great SEC schedule one season, it would suck. I mean, schedule another damn power conference team, for the love of God, other than Louisville. I mean, you play them every year. That's not enough. I mean, that'd be like South Carolina scheduled South Carolina State, Coastal, and Jacksonville State every damn year, and not going in and scheduling a Virginia Tech or a UNC or whoever. That's just piss poor. I mean, hell, I've made fun of Clemson's schedule for years. Hell, at least they're doing it. Damn.
Well, let's move on here.
Play somebody regionally close to you. Get a series going with them. Give me some Kentucky versus Virginia, for God's sake. Kentucky versus Virginia Tech, or Kentucky versus
Kentucky versus Cincinnati. Let's try that.
What about Kentucky versus West Virginia? Who wouldn't like to see that? I mean, how many teeth would be in the stadium for that one?
That would be funny too.
Give me some Kentucky versus Indiana. I mean, it's right there. I agree with God's sake.
On that one, where we got to look at the Kentucky team there, as I just think that's fair. 4.5 is not that much. It really isn't, right?
No, but I mean, you got to look. They lost all their receiver talent's gone. South Carolina took their tight end. Dane Key's gone. Barry Brown went to LSU. Dane Key went to Nebraska for some ungodly reason. Don't understand that one. The Gamecocks took their tight end. The starting running back they had from last year, the one that hurt his finger before the season started, I think his name was Trainum. He came from Ohio State. He transferred out. So I can't remember who he's playing for, but he's gone. I mean, they really got hit hard with the portal. They brought some in, but who knows?
All right, let's talk about the Florida Gators. Over or under 6.5 wins, Jackpot. Here's the schedule. You've got Long Island. What the fuck?
The Sharks, Long Island, the LIU Sharks.
You could have told me. I swear to you, you could have told me they were the Long Island Jellyfish, and I would have bought it. I wouldn't have even questioned you. I don't know what the hell their mascot is. Long Island.
They had bandied about the idea, something about like our little trivia thing, or mental skills competition thing that we're having on the Swab cruise. One of them might be like a mascot challenge type thing. And I hope that it is, because I think I could help my team out, whichever team I get on, because I think that they could do very, very well in that.
Well, I hope you go there and you're your own damn team. You don't need anybody's help. Bring back the trophy. Anyway, South Florida, Jackpot. That's next. Then they've got LSU on the road. At Miami, they play a home game with Texas, a road game with A&M. Mississippi State at home. Georgia at home, or that's in Jacksonville. Then they've got Kentucky.
Is it though? I thought that they were having to play those on the campus. Thought they're doing something to that stadium. Check on that. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'll have to look. It says it's at Everbank Stadium on November the 1st, so that would be Jacksonville.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I'm just a dumbass.
They go to Kentucky, to Ole Miss, home game with Tennessee, and a home game with Florida State. 6.5.
I mean, I think if they could win their home games, I mean, I think they could go over that.
Yeah, I mean 6.5 sounds. I mean they're going to win against Long Island.
Yeah, I think they'll beat Long Island. I think they beat South Florida. I think they beat Florida State. I think they beat Mississippi State. I think they beat Kentucky. One of those games, the hinge game there is Tennessee at home. Man, they should beat them. I mean, they normally beat Tennessee at home. Why should this year be any different? I think they beat who you said Texas at home. That's probably a loss.
Yep.
Miami game on the road, probably a loss. Ole Miss on the road, probably a loss. LSU on the road, probably a loss. So, there's some tough ones there.
It's going to be tight.
Yeah, I think they might win 7. I think they sneak right by it. I don't give them much more than that.
All right, jackpot. Next,
Hoghead says he will give anyone in this room Tennessee 14 points versus Florida. I mean, based on what? I mean, who's going to catch passes for you this year? I mean, who's running the football this year? Y'all are going to regress. Hate to tell you.
Well, speaking of which,
and that's just it. I mean, that's an awful bold statement that you're going to beat Florida by 14 plus on the road when you haven't done it in.
I mean, it's a long time since that happened. So, speaking of which, let's go to Tennessee now. Over and under for Tennessee is 9.5. Their schedule, they have Syracuse, East Tennessee State, Georgia, UA.
Well, who are we talking about now? I'm
Tennessee
sorry.
at 9.5.
Oh, okay.
Well, you got Syracuse, home games with Syracuse, East Tennessee, Georgia, UAB, Arkansas, Oklahoma, New Mexico State, and Vanderbilt. Road games at Mississippi State, Alabama, Kentucky, and Florida.
Okay. If they can win their road games against Mississippi State, who else they play? In Kentucky.
Those are two.
They could.
Yep.
I think they could. I think they could sweep their home games except for the one against Georgia. So, this is going to depend a lot on if they. I'm telling you, it's 9.5, right? Did you say 9.5?
9.5. Yep.
I think that's too high. That's going to depend on them. I think. I don't think they're beating Georgia. I don't think they're probably going to win at Alabama. I think that's hinges on them winning at Florida, and I just don't see them doing it.
I don't see them winning at Florida either until they actually do it. I'm not.
Hoghead said, "Oh, okay, never mind. I got you. My bad.
Okay, I got it.
I didn't think you were that. I didn't think you were delusional like that, Hoghead. I don't know. Look, Billy's here.
Hi, Billy.
Billy's back.
Billy says over for sure. All right, the next team.
Hey, Billy was wanting me to stream that Gamecocks basketball game last night against Texas, and I didn't do it. I just didn't feel it. I had tickets to go to that game, Rob, and I didn't go.
You would have had more people watching the stream than showed up at the arena.
There was 11,000 people there.
I believe in your stream, Jackpot. You'd have had more watching the stream than they would have had there. Just saying.
Well, there were 2 of us that weren't there that were supposed to be. I didn't feel great yesterday and just didn't really want to travel. I mean, if I had spent more money on the tickets, I obviously would have went. But I mean, I think I was out like $24. Would have spent more than that almost to park. How sad is that?
Next,
But yeah, just kind of disappointed I didn't get to see them win that. I mean they beat ass. I mean it really wasn't even a good game. I mean they just kicked their ass.
They did belt to ass. That's what happened there.
That belt the ass. I mean, what's up with that to that Texas coaching staff too? I mean, I know the players wear all white. I get it. Those coaching digs just look kind of kind of odd. It's like some '80s rap group or some shit.
Yeah. I don't know.
'90s.
Well, I mean, I wish you could have gotten to see them get the win. That would have been good for you. The next team that we'll look at is the Georgia Bulldogs. I got them at 9.5 jackpot. Here is the Georgia schedule. Home games with Marshall, Austin P, Alabama, Kentucky, Ole Miss, and then the Florida's in Jacksonville. And then they got a home game with Texas, Charlotte, and Georgia Tech. Road games are Tennessee, Auburn, and Mississippi State. Those are your 3 road games. 9.5.
Well, that's kind of seems like kind of a low over/under win total set for Georgia. But then again, when you look at that schedule, and it's kind of tough. I mean, it's going to hinge on. I think Texas may come get them this year. Texas is going to be good. I think Arch Manning's going to be good. They may get them this year. I think it's a lot that's going to hinge on can they beat Alabama at home? I think they can. I mean, I think they've had Georgia's number for a while. I think that Georgia is ready to return the favor. Can Georgia win at Tennessee? I mean, I think they can, but once again, there's another team that's wanting to return a favor against them as well. I don't know, man. I don't know. With the uncertainty at quarterback, you got uncertain wide receivers. I mean, I kind of lean under with that. I think this may be, Kirby may struggle a little bit. I mean, I don't think he's going to 7-win struggle, but he may 9-win struggle.
Yeah, well.
He may miss the playoffs.
We'll have to see on that one. 9.5 is just a vaulty number there, but I mean they do have Alabama and Texas. You know what? All right, in February, put me down for over until I get to see more. I'm gonna go with over.
And yeah, you got and that. I mean, you're just kind of going with what you've seen every year.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with 10 wins for them just until I see something different. Let's see here. You know the last time that Tennessee beat Georgia jackpot? I'll take a guess.
2016.
Yeah, there you go. 2016. Georgia though has won what? 1, 2, 3.
You're trying to stump me on the trivia now.
7, 8, 9, 10.
We'll get you now. I like some
They've
trivia.
13 out of the last 15 against Tennessee. Talk about belt to ass.
Damn, talk about owning somebody. God dang. Why don't they? I mean, you talk about, we just need to end the rivalry right here. Woo.
13 out of, there you go. The last 15 have gone the Georgia way. I'm going to go until later on. We'll see. All right, jackpot. You want to go? Let's see here. We'll do 2 more. Let's go with. Let's go with Florida State.
Oh, God.
Florida State over and under of 7 wins jackpot. 7.
Well, I mean, you look at that, and that sounds comical. I mean,
7.5.
Yeah, that's the same over on the one total South Carolina has, and it's like it seems comical coming, out of the gate there after last year. But I don't know who their transfer portal haul's been. I mean, I know we have Castellano.
Yeah, Castellanos is the only one that I've heard about.
That's a problem. If he's the best one of the bunch, you could be. I mean, he's like 5'10", and I mean
Yeah,
but then again, so is Diego Pavia. So
Pavia. 7.5. I'm going to pull up their schedule for you here, Jackpot. Alabama, East Texas A&M. What the fuck? What's the mascot
well,
for East Texas?
I think that was known as the University of Texas A&M at Commerce. And they changed their name.
Kent State. They play at Virginia. They got Miami, Pitt, at Stanford, Wake Forest, at Clemson, Vatech, at NC State, and at Florida. 7.5.
Yeah, well, their ACC schedule is not. I mean, they got Clemson and Miami, but then outside of that, I mean, they don't have a murderer's row of a conference schedule. I mean, there's no, they don't have a game against. They don't have one of the rotating games against Notre Dame. They don't got no Louisville. They don't have SMU. So, I mean, I guess that's something.
I'm gonna take the under because
yeah, me too. I haven't seen enough. I mean, I don't know what going from 2 wins to 8 wins seems to be a tall ask for me. And I don't know that it was a fluke last year. I mean, they weren't competitive in those games that they lost. I mean, they got their ass beat in every one of them. I mean, and it was, there were no doubters. So I think that I mean, they would have to be the most improved team in college football to go from 2 wins to 8 wins.
Yeah,
more than likely, right?
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
So do you see that with the coaching? I don't.
I think they're a shithole. I think their coach is a shithole. So
no.
The final team now, South Carolina, they don't have them listed on the FanDuel website yet.
But Rob has SEC bias, says 7. Okay, 7.5 wins. The ACC is mid as fuck. They can get there. No, dude. I mean, they would have to be the most improved team in the country to do that. I just don't see it.
Yeah. Take the under there. All right, your next matchup or next team, they don't have South Carolina in the mix here, but on the board, but Clemson is here. So we'll do Clemson. Clemson plays LSU, Troy, Syracuse, SMU, Duke, Florida State, and Furman at home. They have road games at Georgia Tech, North Carolina, Boston College, Louisville, and South Carolina. So interesting that they have two games on the road at teams that beat them last year at home in Louisville and South Carolina. So that's interesting. I think the Clemson's got the lion's share of their team back, except for they're going to miss Barrett Carter and a couple of other guys, especially on the defensive front. But the over and under is at 9.5, Jackpot. Which way you rolling there?
Just looking at it right now. I mean, I think I lean under. And I lean under, and I say that because I think you drop those games at Louisville. I think you drop the game at South Carolina. And then with your home schedule, you should sweep that. And I mean, in theory, you lost 2 home games last year. So I don't think Clemson loses 2 home games. I think they sweep the home series. But here's the kicker. I think you lose to Georgia Tech.
I think they're more likely to lose to Georgia Tech than South Carolina.
That's ridiculous, but
it's not ridiculous. It's not ridiculous.
It is. I mean, South Carolina just beat you last year. I mean, you're winless against Shane Beamer.
You don't have the same fucking team that you had last year.
Nobody does.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You lost so many.
He's not going to help you. Guys. He's not going to be able to help you either.
You know what? I'm going to write it down.
Nobody has the same team they had last year. That's why they call it a roster. We're going to put this on. Otherwise, they would just call it the list of players you always have.
Jackpot, let me help you, okay? It's February 23rd right now, all right? And I'm aware of that. Accountability. South Carolina is going 6-6, and that's it. That is a gift. Okay,
Well, you
you
go on
could
ahead and
go
put it up there then.
I'm putting it up there. At
You know,
least
you're
I'm
gonna,
the
you're
one
gonna
on the
look like
program
a
that has
fucking
the
dumbass.
to put it out there. But brother, you're just saying that we're going to be so much better when in reality you've lost your best running back.
I didn't say we were going to be better.
You'll be better than 6-6.
They'll be better than 6-6. Then
Okay,
yes,
well,
I,
you're going
I
to be
thought you were talking
better than
about better than
6-6.
last year. Sorry.
No, better than 6-6.
There's so much bullshit coming
Better
off
than
your lips
6-6
right now. It's kind of hard for me to
without your
dodge it.
first round safety, without your number one running back. You're going to be so much better without those guys. Okay. I can see through
got
it.
a 1,000-yard running back coming out of the portal. Oscar Adaway earned his stripes last year too. Think he's going to be better. Think the offensive line is going to be better. You got 3 portal players who come in who have a ton of starts at the teams that you're coming from, respectively. You got Nick Harbor, who's quit track for all intents and purposes, solely focused on football. Could be a dangerous man. You got some guys that were freshman wide receivers last year, grown up this year. I think VJ Jacobs is going to break out. I think Mazio Bennett's going to come back from being hurt. I think he's going to be a big-time contributor for Carolina. I think the tight end position is going to be much better for Carolina. I think Michael Smith is a huge talent. I also think we're going to see some stuff from Brady Hunt. I think this guy could do well for us. I think that bevy of talent from that 23 class that we signed the offensive line is going to come into its own as well. And if not, hey, we got these portal guys who have a ton of starts in between with other schools that can come in and make that thing go. I think that guy from Utah State is going to be a nice piece as well. And I think Lenoris is going to toss that thing.
I got you at 6-6. I'll stand by that.
Okay, well, stand by that.
Stand by that. So, simply because it has nothing to do. Chris says Rob is so bitter over South Carolina. No, I can look at it.
He is. I mean, he's bitter, and he lets that bitterness get in the way of factual.
What is not? Hold on. That is silly. What is not factual about what I'm saying here? Okay, you lost Rocket Sanders. Your best returning receiver is a fucking tight end.
Was Rocket Sanders some kind? I mean, you are slobbing your knob over him. I mean, sir, he was not a Heisman Trophy level running back. I mean, he was good. He had a good year.
Okay, so
especially coming off of an injury, he had a good year.
So with Rocket Sanders, you were just good. Got it. Okay, but he's not going to be back anyway. He's gone. All right. You also have lost Imuware, who's going to be projected to be a first-round pick. I guess he's trash because y'all going to play better without him.
Nobody said he was trash. And I've already sat there and told you I expect that defense could give up 7 points more than it gave up last year. But I also think the offense is going to score 7 more points than it did last year.
I doubt that. Anyway, I got you at 6 wins.
Based on what? I mean, I'm not making sense. You don't think Nick Harbor is going to be better than he was the past 2 years with
he
nothing?
He has to be better because he's been a shithole. He got outgained by a fucking tight end. He better be better.
A shithole, please.
Yes, he had to be better. He was. You had tight ends on your team that had more receiving yards than he did. I would hope that
one tight end that had more receiving yards than him.
Okay, your leading receiver was a tight end. I hope that Harbor is better.
Don't give a damn. So was Penn State. I mean,
you're not Penn State, but anyway, I got you at 6-6, and I'll stand by that from now until I may change it at the spring portal if some things change there. But I don't see more than 6 wins on your schedule.
Okay. Blake says what he wants to know. What did you predict South Carolina record before last season? I think you said like 5 wins.
No, I had you at 6-6 last year. So we can go back and look at the tape. I had you at 6-6.
To be fair, so did I.
I just love how everybody's like, "Oh, we're going to be 8-4 with the schedule that you have and what you lost." Yeah, you're going to be 8-4. Okay. See how that works out. It's going to be comical. So, anyway,
We'll see.
Eddie with the dumb comment. You have the luxury of a weak ass conference. Take advantage of it like you have for years.
You do.
You can't help what conference you're in.
Only
Yes,
you can.
And I
y'all been trying to get out of it.
guarantee you this, and this is something that South Carolina fans don't want. But if we got Commissioner Sankey and we gave him truth serum, and he could only tell us the truth about what he wanted, and ask him, would you rather have South Carolina or Clemson in the SEC? He would tell you Clemson 99 times over and over and over again.
No, he wouldn't, because he plainly came out and said last summer they didn't plan on adding any more teams.
Of course he's going to say that. He's the commissioner. He's not going to just go and load out other shit. He'd rather have him.
So we don't plan on adding any more teams. But by God, if they could get South Carolina released somehow, we could get them taters in here. Boy, it sure would be nice.
I mean, you got into the conference because Florida State didn't want to go in. Let's make sure that's out there. I mean, we could talk about how you got into the conference if you really want to.
Well, then they're dumb fucks. I mean, okay, and now they're tied up in all kind of legal bullshit trying to get out of it. So who was smarter in the end? Not them. Not Bobby Bowden and his lazy Bobby Bowden. For everybody talks about how great he was, what a great humanitarian was, how great he was for sport. He wasn't. He was just a big puss. That's all he was. Or he said, well, I'd rather take the low road, get myself to a championship. I mean, what makes more sense? Yeah.
Hold on. Are you really bashing the dead man, Jackpot?
Well, yeah. I mean, he can't defend himself, so why not? He'd be watching this show if he were still here.
Of course he would. Peckerhead joins the program. Good evening.
I think all 6 and 6 needs a reminder of what happened last season. Whole lot of tears, a whole lot of upset Clemson fans.
Congratulations, and I've said it for the longest time. It's fluke wins, man. We beat you. It's a normal Saturday.
Yeah.
Y'all win.
Yeah.
You make
if Clemson wins, glory to Clemson. When Carolina wins, it's a fluke. That's some sound logic.
Not a normal Saturday when you play Shane Beamer in Death Valley. It's not.
No, it's not. It's not. It doesn't tend to go your way in Saturday in Death Valley versus Beamer, which I'm glad. I think you picked Beamer over. Did you pick Beamer over Drink, by the way?
He did.
Okay, I think that was a good pick. I don't know if y'all just get off the. I'll redress the 6 and 6, but
well, you have plenty of time, but you're not gonna. Let me make sure that we understand something, okay? You are not going to sway me. There is nothing that you were going to say that's going to say, "Oh, well."
I don't think he's gonna attempt to sway.
Well, I mean, you don't come at me with this. Well, we have this guy.
Rob, I'm sorry. Take a break from bitching for a second. Would you repost the link, please, sir?
Oh, I can do that. Hold on. I thought I already did, but I'll do it again.
He's not going to try to sway you. He's just going to.
I'm giving the case.
If you're going to come, no, I don't need a case. If it's a case that
he's just making a case of why you're a dumbass.
Or we expect our backup tight ends to be better, or the running backs are going. I don't want to hear all that shit. It's not going to sway me. If you want to talk to me after the season, if you go 7 and 5, then I will apologize. Until then, I think you're a 6 and 6 football team, and nothing you're going to say is going to change my mind. Absolutely nothing.
We put it in the chat.
Again, I'm not trying to change the mind of a Clemson fan. I would just like to expose the delusion of the Clemson fans and all. Go ahead, Jared. Let me give Jarrett the floor. Jared deserves the floor. Go ahead, buddy. What you got?
I think Clemson in the SEC would struggle. I honestly think they would struggle. It's just honest. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, what do I gotta lie about? If they were played,
I'd expect that from you, SEC lower back tattoo folks. If you give Clemson the Missouri schedule, right through it.
They'd have to up their transfer portal game and stuff like that. They'd have to change the way they operate a little bit.
Yeah, definitely shouldn't be putting on kids from Daniel.
But they can do it. I have faith in them.
Yeah, I think UGA is going to be under this year.
Billy says, how many minutes does
I think
Peckerhead
EJ
get?
will be under this.
How many minutes does Peckerhead got to pee? Be back shortly. All right. Shake it more than twice. You playing with it.
Yeah. Don't make sure you grab on the counter when you sit up off the toilet. I know it's hard on your knees, crouching down every time to pee, but
you think he's got one of those handles by his toilet so it can help him get up?
Oh yeah, he probably has one of those
Definitely,
hospital
it
cords.
came with the
too.
house.
Yeah, he's got one of those hospital cords to pull just in case there's an accident.
Oh, are you talking about one of those plastic old man potties with the rails on the side of it? You put it over your actual toilet so that you can hold on to it. Yeah, I thought shit. My grandma had one of those when they broke her hip.
How many people want to bet that Billy has a squatty potty? I would say that I'd bet a small fortune on that. Billy's got
what the hell is a squatty potty?
It's like a bench. You sit in front of your toilet and hold your legs up. You sit like
that's what you were talking about, Kale, I think.
And then you put your feet on the bench, and it supposedly helps you poop.
You know, it'd be a hell of a combo if you had a
saying.
squatty potty and a shiwi.
You think he's got a squatty potty and a shiwi?
No, I said if you did, that would be a hell of a combo. Let's let Jarrett talk. I'm sorry.
Hold on, I'm going to show you guys what the squatty potty looks like. Here you go. Let's see here. Oh, they got the. God, this is so bad. I'll show you this really quick here. A squatty potty jackpot. Here you go. There's your squatty potty jackpot. So you put it in front of your toilet like that. See that?
And then it's a stool.
It's like a stool.
It's a $21 stool.
There you go. That's how it looks.
Dude, the overheads on that company is ridiculous. It's a $21 stool.
Look, they even put it here. There you go, jackpot. That's how it looks.
I've been kind of in the market for a bidet recently. They've got a something that Conrad Thompson and then we're peddling cleantushy.com or something. It's just like an attachment that goes on your commode. I looked it up. They cost like $120, so they're affordable.
Oh, we lost Jarrett.
Yeah.
He was going to talk about Georgia. Oh,
well. I don't know what happened to Jarrett. Okay, there's Jarrett right here. There you go, Jarrett. Go ahead. You're talking about Georgia. What you got, man?
I think it's going to be under because of the O-line, because the receivers are going to be good coming from A&M and USC, but I think the O-line is going to be the determining factor. You don't know what it's going to look like.
Yeah, I forgot about
defense.
How many people is Georgia losing this year?
A lot. And on defense, a lot too. Jalen Walker.
Oh, y'all been recruiting really well. Kirby should have somebody back behind them people, surely,
Yes, but receivers will be transfer receivers, but the O-line is my question. The O-line is what I'm worried about.
Yeah, well, I know y'all got that Xavier McLeod on the D-line. I wouldn't expect much from him. He's tissue soft. So hopefully he's not in the plans for starting.
Well, they got the kid from Texas A&M's like a taller wide receiver, and they've been kind of needing that. And the kid they got from USC, I guess he's a smaller type.
That Branch, I will say, I didn't watch much of him outside of his freshman year, but that Branch kid, from what I've seen, is pure electricity on the field. That guy is going to cause people problems. He's liable to, anytime he touches the ball, he's liable to house it. I mean, the dude's got some serious agility and speed. He's going to be he's going to be really good for Georgia.
Jackpot, you said that you wanted a bidet. I found one on Amazon for $31. There you go, Jackpot.
Really?
It's a self-cleaning nozzle, freshwater, non-electric bidet attachment for the toilet seat with adjustable water pressure, so you can find out how much water you want shot up your ass.
That's amazing.
Jackpot says that's amazing. Look at that. There you go, Jackpot. Oh, let's.
Hey, Just out of curiosity, are the reviews on that funny at all? Why don't you click the reviews, see what they say?
I'm looking at. Hold on, we can look at the reviews of it to see if it would show like. I don't know. Let's see here.
Did we lose
Yeah,
Jared
we can look
again? Jared, no, he's still there.
Yeah, I'm still here.
All right. So the reviews. Let's see if I can find the reviews here.
I'm
Where are
hoping
the
somebody's
reviews?
cooking up something funny down there. I don't know, but it seems like there's opportunity.
Okay, 94,000 ratings. So lots of people bought them.
Shit, 94?
Most of the ratings are 5 stars. Let's see what the ratings are on this.
$31 for a
Lux.
bidet. That thing's got to be cheap as fuck.
It's basically a water hose connector at that point. You just got a yard fountain in your toilet.
Yeah, Jackpot's gonna have a hillbilly bidet. It's gonna be like just a damn hose that runs from the yard upstairs.
That comes up through the toilet pipe. Looks like an old snake.
All right, let's see customer reviews. There we go. So day 1, first impression, 5 star. 5 star from Tennessee
Doug.
Gidget.
Who's writing that much about a bidet? Come on. That's a full paragraph. Every single one of these are paragraphs. It changed their life.
I don't know.
It changed their life.
Okay. Yasser says it doesn't fit his toilet. The guard's blocking the seat. Someone wrote, let's translate this to English. There are 2 open mouth wrenches inside for mounting. I thought the keys were metal. It's plastic. Okay. So it's a plastic piece of stuff there, buddy. There you go.
What if it said it blew wet corn and peanuts all over my underwear?
Goodness gracious.
I give it 1 star.
Hey, it blew wet corn and peanuts all over your underwear. Oh,
I will say, if y'all ever want to laugh, some of the funniest reads ever are the sugar-free gummy bear Amazon reviews. I don't know if you've ever seen those. You will laugh your ass off, though. But Jared,
those sugar-free gummy bears will probably give you the shits.
Oh yeah, that's what every single review.
I know, because I used to drink a lot of those water, those packets. I used to have like the Crystal Light packets that would go in your bottle of water.
Yeah,
I used to drink those all the time when I was a manager at Ingles, and there were plenty of times I was kind of walking with pinched butt cheeks to the bathroom because they would work on you.
One guy wrote about this is the last thing I'll say about it, and then I think Jarrett tell us about Georgia. But one guy wrote about his unholy experience about eating a bag of those gummy bears on an airplane, and it's some of the funniest shit I've ever read. If you got a chance, you have to check it out.
You know what, Jackpot? I may buy one of these $31 bidets. It's $31. You can get the advanced version for $39. I don't know what the advanced $8.
It's got LED lighting, so you can disco while you do your business.
Disco potty.
Yeah. All right, Jared, tell me about Georgia. I know you got to be excited about Brant.
All right, Jared. Okay. Thank you, buddy. As Jared leaves. All right. What else you got there, Peckerhead?
Yep. Well, I want to give Jared his chance. But first and foremost, I get we're losing a lot. This is not for Rob, so if you don't want to listen, that's all right. 6-6 is ridiculous, though. We're returning arguably the best quarterback in the SEC and a arguably top 5 quarterback in the country, according to people who know a little thing about football. I wouldn't personally go that far, but he is getting heaping praise.
At least you're honest that you wouldn't go that. I don't think he's a top 3 quarterback in the conference.
I do think he's a top 3 in the conference. I do think that.
Well, that's
I think the only
to say he's the best in the conference is asking a lot.
Yeah, I think the only probably in the SEC, I think you got to give Nussmeier the edge. Although he finished off the year terrible. But, I mean, he's got numbers behind him, and he's played.
Yeah, but, I mean, you got to look at it. All he can do is throw the ball. He has no mobility.
Yeah, he can't run the ball, yeah.
0.
That's what the fucking quarterback's supposed to do. Yes.
Hey, well, a mobile quarterback just was Super Bowl MVP. A mobile quarterback
goodness.
was just Super Bowl MVP. I think he had like over 100 yards rushing too, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Okay, so not a laughable point, but
the defense won.
I'm not sure who was the other quarterback.
We're not. This is not 1985, sir. I mean,
well, you said you'd rather have Sellers than Nico. Who are the other two? Other than I'm guessing you got Nussmeier. Who are the other two? You got.
I have Nussmeier. Let's see. I have to do more research on that, but I think that Nussmeier would be one. I had these wrote out.
okay,
earlier.
he gives you a rating. Says he's top 3. He's not top 3, but he can't name you who's better.
I'm looking for my notes.
Arch Manning, maybe.
Yeah, we can have Arch
Okay,
Manning
well,
in there.
he's not proven.
All right, I'll tell you what. I'll take Diego Pavia.
Oh yeah, because he looked great against
There you
South Carolina last
He got
year.
helicoptered versus South Carolina, Rob. He got John Elway helicoptered versus us.
And Sellers looked like shit against whoever you played in your first game of the season. We'll just throw darts all over them.
He looked good running the ball.
He's not supposed to run the ball, Peckerhead.
What did you say, Rob?
Yeah. I said your offensive coordinator had him not running the ball, and I think that's going to be a detriment to him.
Okay, Rob, you can't seriously believe in your heart of hearts that Mike Shula, who gave us Super Cam, is going to tell Lenore Sellers to play like Kirk Cousins.
He tried to make him a pocket passer against Illinois.
He had a month.
There were plenty of
he had a
times
month to install his offense. Not even a month. I think it was. What was it? Less than. It was a later bowl game. Yeah, it was about a month. I think he had a month to install his offense, and Illinois was running spies every single play.
Cool. Spies don't matter though if he's running like, hey, I'm going to take off and run.
Well, yeah, but that just wasn't in the cards.
Everybody else ran spies against him.
Do what?
Well, you can't really use the spy argument when lots of other teams ran spies.
I'm not using the
against him
spy argument. I'm saying it's delusional to think he's going to make Lenore Sellers play like Kirk Cousins. That's not going to happen, Rob.
Okay.
I mean,
I think that may be part of the hindrance. The other part is you're not going to have Rocket Sanders as your running back. And I still don't know who's catching the ball, but we've talked about that.
Yeah. The thing with the running back game, it's even proven in the NFL. These guys are plug and play. And Rocket Sanders, although he had a good year, it wasn't a special year at all. He had a Sean Carson year. We don't talk about Sean
That's
Carson.
why I keep trying to tell him. He rushed for like 800 yards. I mean,
yeah, I mean it was a Tavian feast.
It was a hell of a good year for someone who's coming off of the kind of injury that he came off of from 23.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a hell of a good year for that. But, I mean, hell, Phil Maffa had more yards than he did.
Yeah, I mean, that's
because Clemson was dumb as fuck and handed the ball to him 30 times a damn game.
Yeah.
But,
and honestly, up until probably about the LSU game, maybe in the game after that, Rocket didn't even Rocket wasn't running at full speed.
He was on a milk carton.
So let me make sure that I understand, because I need you to make sure that you put this out there. If you're a top 5 running back in the SEC, is that pretty good or not?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Rocket Sanders was number 4. That's who you're losing. Shut your holes.
I mean,
you're losing the 4th best running back.
I didn't say he wasn't good. I said he wasn't detrimental to the team.
I'm just saying you don't have someone to fill that hole.
Yeah, we do. We got 1,000-yard. We got one of the best running back transfers in the country, Rob.
He was the top rated running back transfer in the country at the time.
I mean,
he's the best available.
He had 1,000 yards on a terrible Utah State team. And if you look at his highlights, every single run is him making 3 or 4 people miss.
All right. I've got you on the record. You think that the running backs you have now will
here, put this on the bookshelf of accountability. Our running back now will have matched the production. It'll be, give or take, maybe 50 yards. It'll match the production of Rocket.
So your number 1 running back will finish as better than 4.
Yeah, and I will caveat this. This goes away if they go committee.
Okay.
This goes away if they go commit.
The running backs in front of him.
Dylan Sampson, Jarquez Hunter, and Quintrevian Wisner.
Wisner, where the hell did he play?
Texas.
How did I not hear him?
Didn't either one of those guys from Mizzou have more than him?
Nate Noel was behind him.
Okay.
So
What about Marcus Carroll?
He didn't have the best year. I think he kind of lost his spot.
Okay.
I don't see Marcus Carroll
Yeah,
on the
they
list.
went with someone else. It was Noel and some other dude.
All right, gentlemen. What else you got there,
Yeah.
Peckerhead? Because
I'll leave us with this. He brings up us losing Emanuel.
Jared's informed me that he's tried to get on here several times, and he said the StreamYard keeps crashing. That's the problem, Jared. It's not StreamYard. This is government cheese StreamYard.
Oh, before I get into my last Carolina topic,
we were trying to be economical a little bit, and might not have worked out.
I'll give some suggestions. You could look into this. It might be a little cheaper. I know you can do Zoom and Google Meets and stream on YouTube. It might be a little cheaper than StreamYard. Maybe if y'all are changing, check that out. I don't know. But back to Carolina. He brings up us losing Emanuel, which
I don't know about Google Meats. I get my meats from Quality Foods. Hey!
Ziggy's pissed. She done pissed off Ziggy. They giving the stink eye. Look at that. Ziggy ain't letting that go.
All right, y'all.
Yep, Torian Gray.
And you're going to make him mad. Stop it.
Torian Gray is a DB factory. He always has been. He was at Florida. He has been at South Carolina every year he's been here. I mean, somebody's going to step up and fill that hole. Every year, South Carolina loses. Maybe not every year, but every team generally has a first or second round DB talent. I expect this team to be no different. We just might not know the name yet. You know what I mean? So go Gamecocks. Go quarter zip. We got the win finally. And not as embarrassing. I think Mizzou didn't win a conference game last year, so not as embarrassing as that.
They didn't. Some comments here. Matthew says, what happened to Chris in Georgia? No clue.
Under the sea, under the sea.
Kentucky Blue Balls, Barney Ross, what happened to Gamecock Shorty? No clue.
He quit. No, I remember he quit his YouTube channel, and I think you remember he said he got hacked, and he said it was a sign from God to quit YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, go Gamecocks, go quarter zip. Coach Beamer, he runs the state. Honestly, he's the CEO of Death Valley Junior, and I'd have it no other way. Go Cox.
All right, there you go. Peckerhead joining the program. All right, Jackpot. It's been a good show, man.
It hasn't been a good show. It's been a great show.
A great show.